Let's do another question here. This one from Ross Parks. He wants to know if you could handpick the person, who would be the last opponent for the last outlaw? Someone in the business today who's bringing out the best of Double J. That's a good question, Jeff. Like, if you were to pick your last opponent, have you put any thought into that at all?
You know what? It's funny. Ever since the Flair, RickFlairLastMatch.com, ever since, Connie, that kind of all went down. And yes, it happened here in Nashville. So maybe that's a part of it, but no, not even at conventions and different things like that. A lot of people will comment on that, and then they'll, I don't know if it's a conversation starter or whatever it may be, but essentially something to the effect of, hey, man, who's going to be your last opponent? Because they'll say, did you ever think you would be Flair? And I'm said, I promise you, I didn't. Conrad didn't. Rick didn't. But it all just kind of played out in a pretty cool way. So, but who would be mine? I almost going through the experience we went through, Conrad. I almost don't want to jinx a name, but when I just kind of look at different folks, I can have a wish list here and there, and
don't name one. Rattle off 4 or 5 that you think you'd be happy with. That's fine.
Well, and look, the first one that really came to my mind back because he was there that night. Now it's not even an option. Would be Lawler. Just one more go around with him, and me being, and I said it at the end of Flair's thing, a natural heel, more successful heel, whatever it be. So who's the best guy for me to put over to kind of go through their route? But man, there are so many. But I have talked about our current champion, old Hangman, good chemistry. Now, do I think that's realistic? Probably not. But damn,
why not? Why not? Why wouldn't that be realistic?
Well, and look, here's another one that is probably not realistic, but I've always had really good chemistry with the Road Dogg. Our matches in Australia and some different places.
Yeah, but he's retired. He's not active. Give me
I know. But I mean, I could kind of go through a list of who would be meaningful. But look, Hangman is definitely up at the top of that list.
I'm not saying this is it. Would Jay Lethal be a potential one?
Oh, for sure. So that's what I'm saying. Oh, absolutely, for sure. I could kind of go through that list. I don't think all the different guys that I would probably mention. Hey, Conrad, people my age are retired, so I got to go a generation down.
If we're gonna pick one from somebody who wears another jersey, doesn't wrestle, but I think perhaps even if he doesn't want to, he might for you. I could get excited about you and Abyss one last time.
Oh, boy.
Like, wouldn't that be fun? That feels like such an easy story because you're going to be a baby face in your last one, even if you want to be a heel. So you're going to have to tell a story with a big, mean, nasty monster who wants you bleeding.
It'd be unbelievable. Oh, for sure. Man, you need to go ahead. Would you be his mouthpiece that you turn on me? No,
I would love to. Here's what we'll do now. We'll have Megan hit you in the side of the head with a shoe. That's what we'll do. I mean, listen, if we're just going to have a hypothetical and we're going to talk about somebody who's in the tent, but you have history with, would Samoa Joe check the box?
Oh, there you go.
I mean, Samoa Joe feels like that.
A badass heel, history, the TNA run from multiple angles. Whew, wow. I mean, AJ'd be a dream, but man, Joe inside the tent, just Conrad going down that road. And look, some of that, I mean, we joke backstage off and on at different things. And, his son comes to the taping, and literally I can remember almost like it was yesterday at Orlando Impact Zone, Joe with his wife, excuse me, pushing his son in a stroller. So I mean, a lot of history with that's a good one, Conrad. Damn, you're on today, pal. I got to get more coffee in me. That's a good one. Samoa Joe, last match.
I mean, Abyss, Samoa Joe, Hangman.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel like there's a few good ones out there.
There is. That's a good question. Good question.
Let's do another one here. Jonathan Snowden. I love Mr. Snowden. He does some great books. He says, I'd love to hear his favorite story about his grandmother, Teeny, intimidating all of the boys. And I know that you've seen the famous letter from Jack Pfeffer about, Teeny tried to kill me, which is tremendous. Do you have any stories of her talking about snatching a knot in the rear end of some of those guys back in the day?
Okay.
3, 2.
Sweet. I'm thinking because Sweet Stan Lane.
Okay.
So Louisville Gardens. I'm going to try to if you're inside the back lobby or the back area, Conrad, and you're kind of looking from left to right, there's probably 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, maybe 14 doors, a lot. And the ones on the left would be the only ones open to come in and out of coming in the back door for the show. Well, let's just say the back alley has some extracurricular activity, Conrad, if that makes sense, back in the day, or so I've heard. And so Stan himself has told me this, that so, the guys get to the building and then get dressed. And then, in those days you smoked in the dressing room way back when. So there was really no reason to go back out in the back alley, but you could come up with multiple excuses. And one time, so if you're looking at the far left, those are the doors that are open that you use. Down on the far right, some of the guys would slip in and out that door, but they would do it in private or behind her back, and they would wedge a little piece of wood where the door would not lock shut. And the story goes that Stan had stuck his head out there and he was having a little quick conversation with the young lady, I think making plans for later in the evening. And Miss Teeny knew, so he's out there. So she went down there, picked her right time as Stan's there, and she just stuck her hand out through the door around, and she knew where he was at because she went and peeked and looked down. She could see, and you'd have to know the building, but you couldn't really see. But she lined it up, knew that where he was standing, stuck out that, and she grabbed him. And kind of by luck, but also by design, caught him right in the back of the hair, and she worked her way up to his ear, and she pulled him around the door and inside and gave her famous line, "Mr. Lane, I am the oldest rat in the barn. Stay inside." And she was furious. So she didn't like the guys going out back. So those, Billy Travis has one of those stories. Anyhow, that's kind of a fun thing, but she policed the back alleys. Evansville, there's a Terry Gordy story as well, where Terry was, for whatever he was doing, the inside of the windows fogged up, and he wasn't by himself. It wasn't smoke. And Miss Teeny knocked on the window, and there was no pause in action. And she stayed a knocking until the rocking sustained.
Hey, just in time for the holidays, what if you didn't have to worry about any of that credit card debt? If you're feeling stuck making the minimum payments and you don't want to have to put Christmas on a credit card, we can help at savewithconrad.com. We routinely help our listeners save hundreds of dollars a month. Find out how much money you can save right now for free at savewithconrad.com.